Good morning, children. The next topic name is in the nervous system reflex actions. I said there is two types of reflex actions. What are those two types of reflex actions? Conditional reflex actions. Number two, unconditional reflex actions. Okay. So here I am telling the conditional best example what for we are standing the national anthem. If you hear you will stand, and unconditional means when you touch a heat object you will withdraw your hand from that hot object. So there are two types of reflex actions, conditional and unconditional. Now the reflex arc we are going to discuss the structural and functional unit of reflex actions is called reflex actions is called reflex arc. Okay, so the reflex arc contains the components of reflex arc are R S I M E. What is that one? Receptors. R means receptors. S means sensory nerves. Okay. I means interneuron. And M means what is called motor nerve. And E means effector organ. So receptors to sensory nerve to interneuron to motor nerve and effector. You know very well the interneurons are present in the which part? Spinal cord. In the reflex actions, spinal cord plays a major role. Okay, these points you should have to remember. Okay, the receptors receives the information. So I said already, sensory nerves are called incoming. They will take the information to brain. Motor nerves, you know very well, the function is outgoing. They will take the information from brain. Like that, sensory nerves and motor nerves are there. Okay, so the reflex arc, if you see the diagram, come on, you see the picture. This is the spinal cord. The spinal cord will be like this is there. The spinal cord, you know very well, the parts of the reflex arc, if you see, the first, this is the hand or effector organ. It touched the any hot object. That information is going to the which one? Through the sensory nerve. Sensory means incoming. It will go to the interneuron. Very, very important. Here analysis will be takes place. Then don't touch. That information will come through the very well motor neuron. So motor neuron to message will come from spinal cord. Then what will happen? Effector organ. So then what will happen? You will withdraw your hand from that heart. So like this, within fraction of seconds, this kind of process will be takes place. So what points should have to remember from this reflex action is, first, which will take the information from the outside conditions? Receptors. Okay, the receptors which are present in the hand are heat or pain receptors. Okay, that receptors taken the receives the impulse, either heat or pain, that transmits through the sensory nerves. Sensory will take the information to interneuron or spinal cord. Their analysis will be takes place. That interneuron is also called, what is another name of interneuron? Relay neuron. Then that will be from interneuron to the message will going to effector organ to withdraw. So these are the parts of this total structure is called reflex arc. The structural and functional unit of the reflex actions is called a reflex arc. So here one more example I will tell. One more important conditional reflex actions example, you know very well, conditional reflex actions. Example, one dog is there. So Ivan Pavlov is a scientist, a Russian scientist. He done experiments on dogs. What he done? First he given the bell, what he called, and food. What happened? First he given the food to the dog. Then dog secretes the saliva. Dog secretes the saliva. Second case, what happened? He given the food, means nothing but bread, and he given the bell also, keeping the food and giving bell to the dog. Then dog secreted the saliva. Third also same like that he will do. In the fourth case, only he will give the bell, then that dog will be secreted the saliva without food, no bread. Even though dog what done? Secretes the saliva. So the dog secreted saliva without bread. This kind of reaction is called, what you called, conditional, what you call, reflex actions. The actions are called conditional reflex actions. So these are the main important parts of reflex actions. Reflex arc and sneezing. What are the examples? Sneezing. For suppose if you see the snake, you will jump from that, and closing of your eyelids. These all are the important parts, important reflex actions. Very fast, very quick to protect us. For what? These reflex actions, they will from the protect us from the danger. They will protect us from the danger. The things you have to remember is, what are the components of uh, reflex arc. What are the components? Come on. Receptors, sensory nerve, interneurons, motor nerve, effector organ. So this is about the reflex actions. So in this, the interneuron, relay neuron or interneuron function is important. Okay, children. The next concept is, we will discuss about important about our brain. Okay, brain, the brain related information we are going to discuss now. Next, what are the concept? Next concept is, so brain. Okay, human nervous system. Here are what things we have to remember. Human nervous system. Human nervous system. Okay, so there are three parts are there. There are three parts in the human nervous system. Number one is CNS, central nervous system. They consist of what? Brain, and you know very well, spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. Okay, so the brain receives the brain receives the information, okay, from all organs of the body. Brain receives the information from all organs of the body. This one you have to remember, all organs of the body. Okay, so this one important. Next, second one is PNS. What is the PNS? Okay, the brain and spinal cord receives the information from all organs of the body. Then PNS means nerves, peripheral nervous system. What do you call? Peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system consists of two types of nerves. What are the two types of brain? The nerves which are coming from brain means they are called cranial nerves. What do you call? Cranial nerves. And which are coming out from the spinal cord is called, spinal cord means they are called simply in the name itself, answer is there. What do you call the name? Spinal nerves. Cranial nerves, spinal nerves are there. So these are togetherly called peripheral nervous system. Total how many? Total 31 plus 12. Okay, so here spinal nerves 31, spinal nerves are 31, cranial nerves are 12. total how many will come? The 43. So total 43 cranial peripheral nervous system nerves are there. The last one, what is the last one? Autonomic. What is that one? Autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system. It contains brain and spinal cord. Here also both are there. Brain involved in this nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and especially the what you call parasympathetic, sympathetic, okay, sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system will be there. Okay, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So what they will do independently, this autonomic nervous system, even though connected with the brain and spinal cord, but will work independently. Okay, independently they will be work. Okay, like independently, like what? Heartbeat, you know very well, heartbeat point of view. Then what you call alimentary canal, peristaltic movements, peristaltic movements of peristaltic movements of alimentary canal, peristaltic movements of alimentary canal. These all are under the control of sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay, connected with the brain and spinal cord, but they will be independently function. One will be increase sympathetic, increase their action in the sense, parasympathetic, what you call sympathetic increase in the sense, parasympathetic decrease. Like that they will be work out. Okay, so now another content. First we are going to discuss about what is that one? CNS. CNS means brain and spinal cord. So first we are going to discuss about the brain. Okay, this one from now onwards you should have to remember. So first one is the brain is the first one is coordinating center. First point about the brain, it is a coordinating center. Okay, it will coordinate the center, and it is protected by bony cage called, you know very well, what you call bony cage is called cranium. Okay, and you know it is located in the skull cavity. Okay, the next one, the most important thing, its brain is very soft. Okay, soft and whitish organ. Which color of the organ? Whitish organ. Okay, and the weight of the brain is 1.2 to 1.4 kg. 1.2 to 1 kg, and it about 98% of the weight, the whole central nervous system. It is only 98% weight. Compare with all central nervous system parts, the weight 98% of the weight occupied by the brain only in what you call central nervous system. The brain is surrounded by meninges. Brain is surrounded by meninges. It is how many layers? You know, three membranes protecting. Three membranes are there. Three membranes part or layer will be there. That is called meninges. And the meninges, in between the meninges three layers, the space is there. That space is filled with CSF. What is the CSF? Cerebro. What is called? Cerebro spinal fluid. Cerebro spinal fluid will be there. It protects the brain from the disturbances, mechanical shocks and everything. Okay, the brain is broadly divided into four brain. The brain is broadly divided into four brain. First one is forebrain, the second one is midbrain, and the third one is hindbrain. Forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, like these three parts will be there. So the meninges means three layers. What are the three layers? This is also one of the bit. dura matter. What do you call? Dura matter. Number 2, arachnoid membrane. Arachnoid membrane. And another one is, what do you call, another one is pia matter. What do you call? Pia matter. Like this, dura matter, arachnoid membrane, pia matter. In between the space is there. That space is filled with CSF. What is the CSF? Cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid, which is helpful for the protection of brain from the external shocks. Now the brain is divided into three parts. What are the three parts? Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So what are the parts of the central nervous system? Brain and spinal cord. They receive the information from the all organs of the body. Peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system contains the nerves. The nerves which are coming out from the brain is called cranial nerves, and the nerves which are coming out from the spinal cord is called spinal nerves. There are nearly 31 spinal nerves and 12 cranial nerves, togetherly called 43. Okay, autonomic nervous system means they connected to the brain and spinal cord, but independently. Means this autonomic divided system, nervous system, is divided into two parts. There is sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Independently, this will be act, especially like heart will be work independently. So heartbeat is controlled under control of autonomic nervous system. Same like that, another example, the peristaltic movements of alimentary canal. Our food is moving in our digestive system. How? That is because of autonomic nervous system. So remaining part, just now we discussed the brain. Brain is located in the skull, and bony cage is called cranium. The cavity, that skull cavity, the brain is located. It's a soft whitish organ. The weight is 1.2 to 1.4 kgs. In the central nervous system, compared with all the parts, the brain occupied the 98% of weight. So the brain is protected by three membrane layer called meninges. The three membranes are, what do you call, dura mater, arachnoid membrane, pia mater. So the space is there in between those membranes, that is called CSF. Space is called cerebro cavity is there. That cavity or that space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid, which protects the brain from external shocks and disturbances. And next one is the brain is divided into three parts. What are the three parts of the brain? Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Next we are going to discuss about the remaining parts. The forebrain what, midbrain what are the functions, like that we are going to discuss about that. Okay children, so please be focused and listen very carefully. It's a very important topic. Okay, so what next one is the cerebrum. Cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum. It is the largest part of the brain. So please note all the points. So largest part of the brain. First point is very clear. Largest part of the brain. The second one is, and human, it consists of two cerebral hemispheres. It consists of two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, the division will be leads to two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, hemispheres. So right, what are the two cerebral hemispheres? Right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere. These right and left cerebral hemispheres joined together by thick band of nerves. Thick band of thick band of nerves is there. Those nerve fibers are thick band of nerve fibers. Okay, the thick band of nerve fibers are called, very well, what do you call? Corpus callosum. What do you call? Corpus callosum. It's a thick band of nerve fiber is called corpus callosum. Next, each cerebral hemisphere, another important point. Each cerebral hemisphere, okay, is divided into four lobes. How many lobes? Divided into four lobes. This point also you have to remember. How many lobes? The four lobes. Okay, so these lobes, okay, very important for what, these lobes control different activities. These lobes controls the activities like what kind of activities like touch, smell, okay, next one what temperature, okay, and what you call hearing, okay, and sight. This kind of, okay, actions are under control of those four lobes. What are those four lobes? Come on, I'm writing here. One is occipital, we called occipital lobe. Occipital lobe, this is the right, is the region for what, is for sight, okay. It is for what? Sight. Number one, visual reception, means it is related to vision, okay. Visual reception, we are seeing the things because of that. The next one is temporal lobe. What is called? Temporal lobe. So it is helpful for hearing. What do you call this is helpful for hearing means auditory reception. Auditory reception. Auditory reception means which is helpful for hearing. The third one is frontal. What I said? Frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is helpful for speech, okay, helpful for speech, very very important, okay. And facial, what is that? Speech, okay, speech. Next facial, okay, facial, what you call facial muscular activities, okay, facial muscular activities. Facial, what you called muscular activities under control of which one? The frontal lobe. The next one, muscular and mental activities also very very important. Mental activities. The next lobe, what is the next lobe? Parietal lobe. What do you call? Parietal lobe. Please remember these all the lobes. So this is a region for what? Taste, taste and smell, and what you call touch, taste, smell, touch, and conscious, what you call conscious association, conscious association, what I said, conscious association, okay. Now cerebral cortex, the packed nerve cells also there, okay. This have an outer region. So the cerebral hemispheres, the cerebral hemispheres have outer hemispheres, okay. The cerebral hemisphere outer region, if you see what is there, the cerebral hemisphere outer region, if you see, there will be number of, you believe or not, number of nerve cells are there, packed nerve cells, packed, what do you call, nerve cells are there. These packed nerve cells called, what do you call, cerebral cortex. What I said, cerebral cortex, okay, cerebral cortex. This is also various activities, various kinds of activities that performs various kinds of activities, various kinds of activities they will be performed. So these are broadly classified into three areas. This cerebral cortex classified into three areas. What we call the broadly classified in three areas. What are those? Number one, come on, what is the number one? The sensory areas. Number one, sensory areas. What you called? Sensory areas. Next, number two, motor areas. You know very well, one is taking information, one is taking out information, and the next one is association areas. There are three areas are there in that what you call cerebral cortex region. So what are those? Sensory areas, and what you call motor areas, and what you call association areas, okay. What are the receptors? You know very well. What are the sensory areas? Receives the information, okay. Sensory areas receives impulses, okay, okay, receives the impulses. Sensory areas receives the impulses, okay. We hear, okay, like what you hear, what you see, what you feel, that kind of information will be sensory areas. What about the motor areas? The motor areas transmit the impulses. What motor areas will do? They transmit the impulses from CNS to effector organs. Okay, to transmit the impulses to various organs. Various organs. This point also you should have to remember, various organs. Okay, the association areas. Okay, what you called helpful for hunger. Association areas like what you call hunger, thrust. Okay, this kind of activity. Okay, and memory, learning, these all are under control of which one? Associating areas. Okay, these points you should have to remember once again. So cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, the two cerebral hemispheres are there. The cerebral, because of large groove, the cerebrum is divided into two parts. What are the two parts? Two cerebral hemispheres, right and left cerebral hemispheres. The thick band of nerve fibers connects these two cerebral hemispheres. The thick band of nerve fiber connection is only called, what is called, very very important, it's a neat bit. What is that? Corpus callosum. Two cerebral hemispheres connected by, what is called, the neat bit, nerve fiber, band of nerve fibers is called corpus callosum. Each cerebral hemisphere is divided into four lobes. Each cerebral hemisphere, right and left cerebral hemispheres, but each cerebral hemisphere is divided into four lobes. What are the four lobes function? One lobe helpful for touch, another for smell, another for temperature, another for hearing, like that, sight, like that. Four lobes have four different functions. The next one, what are the four lobes? If you see, for example, some lobes I am telling here. What is that one? Occipital lobe. Occipital lobe, what that will do? Helpful for sight, you are seeing sight, and visual reception. Visual reception takes place in the occipital lobe. Temporal lobe helpful for hearing and auditory reception. Frontal lobe helpful for speech, facial, muscular activities and mental activities, under control of frontal lobe. Next, parietal lobe. The parietal lobe, what it will do? The taste, helpful for identification of taste, helpful for identification of smell. You know very well, different receptors are there or not. With the receptors, they will give they gain the information and they will decide. So, parietal lobe receives the or analyze the taste, smell, touch, and conscious association related activities. Next one, what are the lobes? Say occipital lobe, temporal lobe, frontal lobe, parietal lobe. Remember, each cerebral hemisphere have four lobes. Cerebral hemisphere outer region packed with nerve cells. So if you see outside of the cerebral hemisphere or outer region, packed with the nerve cells, those nerve cells all togetherly called cerebral cortex. What is called? Cerebral cortex. This cerebral cortex finds the various kinds of activities. And the cerebral cortex contains three areas. Okay. What are the three areas? Number one. What are the three areas? Number one, sensory area. Number two, motor area. Number three, association areas. So this receives the first one, sensory information. Sensory areas means sensory nerves are more. What is the function of sensory nerves? You know very well. Receives the impulses like hearing, see, what you feel. These all the information you are receiving from the receptors and where the analysis going on in the sensory areas. Second one, the motor areas. What motor areas they will do? The transmits, outgoing, transmits the impulses from brain to various organs. Then association areas, what they will do? They will work like they will think about hunger, you are feeling hungry, and thirst, and memory and learning. These all the things under control of association areas. Like that, different concepts are there. So you have to remember these all the things. So next concept we will discuss in tomorrow. That one is, the next concept is olfactory lobes. What do you call? Olfactory lobes. Okay. So please listen carefully after the explanation, and you have to open your textbook and check it where these all the points are there. And any doubt is there in the sense, you can ask me through my WhatsApp number. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we will meet with olfactory lobes. Thank you, students.